So, for those who don't know, the short takes place at a progressive elementary school, and these are parents. It's sort of a parenting class, which is oftentimes you're asked to come to these things, and you go to enough so that you make sure your kid gets invited back next year, but not too many that it's filling your calendar.
Right.
So a friend of mine told me that he went to one of these events, and he sort of went off script, as it were, and said some things that created this sort of disastrous waterfall for him. And after he told me this story, I was like, first of all, I can't believe you did that, and secondly, that's a perfect film short, and I'm going to write and shoot it.
Well, there you go. And I wanted to ask you, I mean, I would think that the work really isn't different whether you're doing, a 90-minute, 2-hour feature film than it is for doing a 5-minute short. Or am I wrong? Like, the work has to be, the prep and everything has to be pretty much the same.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's more involved. I think the biggest difference is that there's a lot more to manage. A lot more locations, a lot more actors, a lot more character paths to track. But I am very much looking forward to doing that. And in February, I'll shoot my first feature, and so
very exciting.
Looking forward to that. Yeah.
Well, you're jumping ahead here.
Sorry.
It's okay. I still have to talk about 5 minutes. Okay. So tell me a little bit about the casting. I mean, was it friends, like people who you hired, or did you go through the same process of an audition, or how did it all work?
I cast it all myself, with the exception of the non-speaking roles was done by Bill Dance. He sent me. He does a lot of extras casting, and he sent me some terrific people that I can't wait to use again. But yeah, the speaking roles were all people I knew. And Rob Benedict, who plays the lead, we met through a staged reading we had done together when I was acting, and he's just one of the funniest people I've ever met. So cast him, and then Steve G is another really funny person, and Shauna Kofed, and Isaiah Mustafa, and then what I had to do when we were shooting is tell them, do not be funny.
Right.
If you are funny, you will tip the joke. I need everybody to be watching this short and, for the most part, feel like this is really kind of boring. Like, where is this going? I want them in this sort of sedated state. Yeah. So then when the joke comes, it comes out of nowhere.
Yeah, and it certainly does. I don't want to give it away, but it really does. So what's your take on, do we really, especially with social media and everything that we have going on now, everybody's walking down the streets like this, nobody listens to anybody, nobody talks to anybody anymore. What's your take on actually listening to people?
No, you're right. What I find interesting about films if you have a film that is set in now, it's difficult to not involve social media because that's truly what we experience, and yet it's so uncinematic. And many filmmakers have tried, you have whatever's being text is up on the screen, a layer over what you're watching, but it's difficult to, when you are actually texting and you are having this emotional life with what you're saying and what is being said to you, and sometimes it can be really affect you, right? If somebody attacks you on social media or something. Yeah. And yet, that's not cinematic. No. So, are we listening to each other? Yeah, we kind of are, but in another way. We're listening to each other through this social media route.
But this is a cowardly way to talk to people, I find.
It's odd.
People vent, and it's not
vent,
right.
And there are elements of compassion that are necessarily going to be absent because you're not face to face with another person. Yeah. You're just face to face with a bunch of words. So I mean, I don't have strong feelings on whether or not that's good or bad. I think it's an interesting way that we've now scattered our communication time.
Right.
Instead of having it focused with, in-person encounters and relationships on the phone, we've sort of fractured it now into a lot of different areas. And it's interesting to see who you're closer with in person or on social media or via email. Like, there's different types of relationships now that we have with different people. But
it's true.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. But the most interesting relationships to watch as an audience, of course, are the ones that that you're having face to face.
Absolutely, I completely agree. You know, you had such a great, successful acting career, and I wanted to know when you knew the directing bug bit you, and why you wanted to go in that direction.
I was explaining this to somebody with the TIFF Rising Stars. We had an opportunity to speak with those actors, and when I started acting, I felt like the roles I was reading for or doing were people that were very different than me, or were taking greater risks than me, or were further developed than me, or something. And so it was exciting to play those characters. But then I got to a point in my own personal development where I found myself sort of on par with, I was taking as many risks as, these other characters and all this. And then I got to a point where I was far more fearless, taking far more risks than any of the characters I was reading for.
Right.
And so I didn't want to step off of my life and play these characters anymore. So that's when I started writing. And funny enough, not for me to play any of the parts. Like, that's not, even though in my next short I am playing a part in there, I have to say.
Yeah.
But no, I really, I love writing. I always love doing research for acting roles. So it's great to be able to put all that research into the writing and have it all be there. And then directing is just something I've wanted to do since I was 19. The timing never felt right. And I found for me in creating things, if I don't wait for the timing, I'm just going to make a pile of crap. So the timing's here.
So good.
So none of this will be crap.
No.
Fingers crossed.
No. But but listen, of course, I listen. Family Ties is such a beloved show, and do you still keep in touch with anybody from that show?
Oh, sure. We're all in touch here and there, and really fantastic group of people.
Our amazing Michael J. Fox. I mean,
definitely, Gary Goldberg, who created that show, definitely spoiled me.
What a genius.
For all the rest, and it's and it's something I can bring into my projects, the way in which he managed Family Ties and the types of people he brought into the project, and just making sure everybody is quality, and then you're going to have not only a great filming experience, but a great project.
It makes it so important. I completely agree.
Yeah.
It was how nice to have somebody like a mentor like him to have learned from. Absolutely.
Yeah.
As I said, you have so much going on that, oh my goodness, I could talk to you for an hour. But you have another short coming out. You said you're going to do a feature film and a book. Are you sleeping at all? Having any time to sleep?
Well, a lot of these scripts I had written, before, and the book I had started working on when I was I graduated UCLA last June, and so while I was at UCLA, I started thinking about that book. And the book is Fame, and it's a very visceral account of what it's like to be inside of Fame, and theories on what's going on outside of Fame, why the public feels the way it does about the famous at different points in the Fame life cycle, rather.
Wow.
Why is the Fame seem to be so angry when an actor's fame starts to slip, and theories about that, and there's some sociological theories in there, but also a lot of the theories that I've just
I can't wait to read this.
Myself.
What did you take at UCLA?
I majored in computer science and digital media management.
Oh, cool.
So that, and and I also really loved my my GEs, like sociology and things like that.
Good for you.
Yeah,
I can't wait to read that book. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, I hope you'll like it. It's and the style of the book is very like I said, very visceral, very stream of consciousness. Not to compare myself to Michael Herr, I'm not, but his book Dispatches is one of my favorites, which is a very visceral stream of consciousness about the Vietnam War, and so I hope people will get the same sense that I get about war from his book, about fame through my book. I mean, that would be the ultimate if that's what people can gather from that. But anyway, yes. But it's I'm so happy to have the time to do these shorts first, and and I'm just thrilled to be at TIFF, and thrilled that this is like the my to have my directorial debut at such a great film festival. It's really really an honor. I'm really grateful for
Well,
that.
we're really grateful to have you here, and like I said, this was a great one. I can't wait. So when's the next one coming out? Like it's done, it's shot, right?
The next, yeah, I just finished, I pretty much locked it, I just have to do a couple of little things, but I was like telling my post-production team, like, I have to have this done before the Sundance deadline, you know, it's like, the Sundance deadline, the late deadline is next Friday. So yeah, that one's finished.
Good.
So maybe if it gets into Sundance, you know, hopefully it could premiere there, and we'll see.
And then we'll just have you back next year with your book.
Yeah, for the feature.
With
and
your
for
book.
the feature too.
There you go. You see, there's just so much. We're going to have Justine having an apartment here in Toronto, and you'll just move here.
I love it.
There you go. Such a pleasure to talk to you. Best of luck with this, and congratulations to you. What a pleasure to talk to you. And,
Thank you.
All the best.
Thank you.
Thank you.